Good evening, Ken Long of Tortoise Capital. We're going to do a quick review of the swing trade portfolios for the weekend. Things are looking pretty good. Just a few minor adjustments we've got to make to raise some stops and some where we're adding second positions. So this is Apple. First trade was closed with a win. Second trade, the re-entry of the regression line crossing the dragon, holding support. So entry here. Stop here. We're about 1.5 hours into it, looking for price targets here, here, and here, based on previous humps of the dragon. So that's our price ladder on the way up. Amazon is close to a 1 hour loss here. We took the long position here. Has rolled over for 3 days. And if we get any kind of weakness tomorrow, we're out, but we're still looking for the return to the 270. If there's failure and market weakness, and that was a short, you'd be looking at about 483 as your target. AXP, we got our entry on Thursday finally, after the first good leg up. So we've got our entry at 60, stop at 58.20. We're looking for 61.80 and 64.20 based on previous closing of the gap and then the top of the dragon's hump. Caterpillar's in great shape. We got our re-entry after the first good trade pullback. RLXD, the continuation pattern, so we're long from 72. We're at 75.47 on a about $1.50 stop. Looking for price targets. I'll add at 91. Columbia Pipeline. We had the big gap up out of the river. It held for like 4 days. We had our trade frame in on the sideways quiet channel. Either going to play back to the Bollinger Band mean, as you can see in our little charts here. Never got the short, but got the long on Wednesday. We're 2 hours into it, looking for 28.20. Chevron. Re-entry, the usual entry here, looking for 110 on a $3 stop. DuPont got our entry on Wednesday. This was a pattern 4 continuation pattern. So we're looking for 71. Dollar General. This was a big gap up. We've never got our entry. We started framing this thing from the channel, and I'm ready to take it long at 85.5 now, or short at 84. Diamonds were 2 positions in on this one, pulling away from the 270. Off we go. 178.50 is key now. Diamonds are important because that's a big fat index with the conservative large caps, and if we get above 178.5, it's free and clear. So we like having 2 positions on that one. The stop is gonna be raised up to about here, so we get both of them locked in. Disney. In the money about 3/4 of an hour, aiming for the RL 270, still good. Dow, we entered our second position on Thursday. This was failure to fail, and the river has turned up. It's moved out to Z+2 and marching nicely, so we're in the money on both of these. I'd be willing to raise my stop up in here to get all that locked in. Devon Energy, the second entry after the first gain, 1, 2, 3, and then reframing. We're long from here. We have, on this move, we raised our stop to here, but now we've got 3 more days of power in a row. I'll be moving my stop up into here. So I'm liking Devon Energy. Oops, excuse me. Let me put my stop back in place. Emerging markets. We took a fractional loss on this one. We tried getting short here. Covered, and now we're long from here with about an R in hand, looking to get above 35. Mexico short at a fractional gain to pay off the emerging markets loss, then reversed and entered here on the resumption of the strength in the RL10. You see it held the dragon, held above the edge of the river, so we're long from 51.60. We're looking for 54.60, and if we can get above that, that's looking pretty good. Brazil, first good trade. This was almost 4R. Get the second entry here. We're in the money by about an R. South Africa. This was when the market turned on Wednesday after the Fed. When it took out the Doji's high, we're long with a stop here. That was an intraday trade. It closed well. We converted it to a swing trade by cashing the turbo position. That's paid off. It's cleared the hump of price over here. And now I'm looking for 54.5, then 57. That could really go. Facebook, waited for it to cross the channel. I could have been or should have been better in here, but we had other things working. So that was a loss. And now we're in about a half an hour. Second entry on China, long here with a stop here. We're in the money, looking to add somewhere around 35. Oops, excuse me. Google. 1, 2, 3 entry here. Stop here. We're about 3R in hand, looking for what was the 270. This could really go. Goldman Sachs, second entry finally after the channel, breaks out from the dragon and the RL10 crosses, so we're long from 154 with about a $4.5, $5 stop. About an R into it, looking for the 270. Small caps, long from 108.5, breakout from above the dragon with a stop here just below the PSAR. U.S. real estate, we've got our first entry here. Took a second entry on Tuesday. Our initial stop was below the PSAR, and moved it. Have now moved it up to underneath the 2-day low. J.P. Morgan, we had framed this trade in the channel. The first breakout we got was Friday. Hoping that that's the financial sector starting to move. Want to see it get above the 270, and this is about where I would add a second position, about 64.50. Coca-Cola, our stop was hit, and I'm restocking this one. If it breaks out above 90, let's say 46, that's where I'm going to get long. There's other things working that are better. Low still working nicely from here. If it gets above 75.60, that's I'm thinking hard about a second position. McDonald's, we've raised our stop here. It wasn't much follow through this week, but I like how it closed. I'm looking to add up here north of 129. I just want to manage this. This was so sideways for so long, and if this is just leveling off, I don't want to hurry up and add a second position. Microsoft, we're finally in the money on this one. I raised my stop to here. That I don't like that sell off Friday. If there's any weakness, I'll cash this one, and that's about 1.5 R locked in right there. Nike, so the little sine wave is now working to our advantage. I've moved my stop to the PSAR. Procter & Gamble, the sine wave is still working, just slightly in the money. Tesla, I'm slow. I should have had a second position in this thing already. We're about, this is 1R, so that's 1, 2. It's about 3R. Our stop is up to here now. If I get any strength, I will add another position here. I should have gotten more out of that. United Health, we're long from here. It was dead money for almost 2 weeks, but now we've got about an R in hand. If it can get above 134 is where I'll look to add. But I really like this one long term. You will recall some the earlier discussions that if it could get above 124, this thing could really go. So I don't want to be premature. I find that when I add a second position and I'm aggressive with it, then I end up getting out of it early because I've heightened my level of risk. So I want this one really to go. So I'm gonna let that one cook for a while. See the recovery now in oil. I really like how this has turned, and now the Dragon has crossed the RL270. The River has crossed the RL270. The 90 has turned. The RL270 is starting to flatten out a little bit, so this could be really nice. We cashed this first trade here. It held the Dragon and resumed, so we got our second entry on Thursday at 10:48. We're about even right now, but I still think this one could go. Just monitoring United Tech. Should have had this on Wednesday or Thursday, and now it's so close to this one that I'm concerned. But if tech starts recovering, see, we've already got ones that are already doing pretty well, like Apple and Google and Microsoft, and so I feel like we got some strength there already. Facebook, not so much. So maybe what I need to do is close Facebook and trade it over into United Tech. We've got a double short in the VIX right now, so it's short from here and from here, and we're in the money deep on both of those. I'm going to go to a 2-day high on that one to protect. Verizon, the best stock in the Dow, we're one from here. It should have had a second one in here on Wednesday after the Fed, but I missed it. I'm moving my stop to a 2-day low. This should have done better, but that's locking in about. Let's see, that's 1 hour, so that's 1, 2, almost 3 hour. Walmart has been kind of sideways chopped. Nothing happening here. I will buy it. I will short it below 66, buy it at 68. So that's my trade frame inside there. Win doing really well. This is where I need to get. If I get any momentum tomorrow, this will be my highest priority to get a second position in. Third position if we can get above 102, which has been our long-term price target on this one, based off of this cluster of price is the next resistance. So we're looking for 105. Just a quick look at the sectors. I think they're looking pretty good. Just to get a sense for health. Materials, buy them. Energy, strong. Financials, recovering and strong. Industrials, very strong. Technology, strong. Consumer staples, strong. Healthcare, weak. Consumer discretionary, strong. Metals and mining, we've got our second trade in here on a tight stops. We're holding 2R, looking for 25. The price is 25, not 25R. Just monitoring ExxonMobil. I already have Devon and Chevron, which are in better condition than this one, but it's kind of a bellwether. So we're in really good shape on the swings. Got some management to do. I'm about at the maximum amount of exposure that I want. We're getting close to a swing high level, like a Zeno stop in SPY, by which I mean that we've created, the cup has formed out of this double bottom, and we're deeply into swing trades that have enjoyed this run all the way up. This is the natural resistance near the swing high. That's been the resistance for a while. And so rather than initiating a bunch of new ones, I just really want to bring these cows home and get paid for them. If it breaks out north of 210 or even really 214 is really the true test. we'll have plenty of time to enjoy that. But I want to make sure that we bring this wagon train home. So, Ken Long from Tortoise Capital, keep your wrist measured and your powder dry.